Doug Deters is going to get 2 shots. You're still in the camera shot. I'll move my pop. This guy could shoot, folks, not just wrestle. So here he goes. Now we have to do the tradition. And you're going to have to take shots.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Now Doug Deters made one.
Well, those wrestling guys, they don't have any basketball
He could
skills.
shoot the 3. He could, but it was kind of wild. But if you want to be, we lost one of the Greyhound balls, so we're going to give you Franklin County blue.
You know, the funny story about wrestling guys is that they go ahead and their conditioning sometimes is playing a full court basketball game, and the first team to get to 10 ends the conditioning. Well, these conditionings end up at a wrestling match, and it's one that I will pay to watch it. I mean, because getting to 10 points for those wrestling guys is a struggle. A struggle.
Well, you know who the best wrestler that would have been good at that would have been Roger
Oh,
Zurborg.
Roger
Because he
Zurborg.
had the most high school gym credits in the history of Frank
What was
history.
his name again?
Roger Zurborg.
Oh, okay.
Most high school gym class credits ever.
Yeah, absolutely. PE All-Star, you know. Basketball, wrestling, number 1, but, you know, he's been with Coach Deters for 4 years and good kid. But, you know, in his heart, he thought he was a basketball player.
Well, we used to call those guys lunchtime legends.
Oh, absolutely.
Back at Brookville High School, when you had your lunch, the guys, we only would play once in a while because you couldn't get on the court. But my buddy Gary Lawson, who helped me start not help me, but helped start CYO, he was one of the all-time lunchtime legends.
Oh, right.
I mean, he was like the Dave Back of lunchtime. He was awesome. But we always teased him, and he's a good friend of ours. But hey, again, thanks. But we're going to have you stand over there by Brandon because you can dunk the ball.
Yeah.
And you got to match up. You got to match up with Mike Huff. We're going to have you scoot in a little just because we can see. There you go. And I'll get your things here. Donated by the E.W. Brockman. You got 2 shots.
I got 2 shots to make this thing.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot here.
You get 10 seconds. It's free throw. Calm down. You get
I got
don't have to hurry. Look at that.
Oh, there it is.
These guys are pros. Well, courtesy of the E.W. Brockman Company, you are now the 3rd winner. Mike Huff, Doug Deters, I airballed me, and Wes couldn't even get it.
no.
And this isn't nothing, but we're not big sponsorship yet or anything like that. It's a picture of our corner crew guys.
Oh, nice.
And wishing you luck. And you get a cookie to take home with you. And again, Mark, we thank you for taking time. We're having a lot of fun with this, and we hope to have you on again sometime and get you up to Connorsville at our real office. Granted, this is a great room.
Right.
Everything works. So right now it's working.
I will say with the boys program, you know, we just had that Lawrenceburg game. They come out, I think, 90% of the time with the most intensity. They come out, and when you hit that first shot against Lawrenceburg, you could just tell the tone of the building has changed. They come down, smoke the next shot. Lawrenceburg calls a timeout, and that place just erupted.
Oh.
You know, you always talk about, you know, you're undersized a lot. There's
Right.
nothing against the kids, but they do fight hard for it, being a little bit shorter than everybody else. But when you can come out and do shots like that, you know, the intensity rises. Last year, the Connorsville game just was nuts at the bowl. You know, I think especially with these boys, you know, they come out, they work hard, like you said. You know, these kids are out there shooting year round.
Right.
You know, they'll be in gym class and they'll be playing pickleball. Not the basketball boys; they're over there shooting hoops. You know, and they get competitive with it and they have fun with it. But I think that goes along with what Rob said. You know, that comes from leadership, and I think you guys are doing a really good job with that program. And you know, they're fun to watch. I always love getting to do music. All over there, I'll sit there and like watch you guys. I told Dylan this. I said I try to watch you guys as you coach. You know, kind of think what I should be doing better with basketball. I mean, it's 6th grade, but for sure coaching it. But and it's the little things you guys do. You know, I think you guys are doing a really good job with it all. So.
Well, you know, 100% appreciate that. You know, we try. We work at it. You know, we were at Rushville last night watching Rushville and Connorsville play. We had a person at the Greensburg Batesville game last night. You know, it's a lot of work, and we put the time in, and you know, does it always equal wins and losses? Not always, But we pride ourselves on, getting these kids set up for success and putting them in the correct position to have success. Does it always work out? No. But we pride ourselves on that. We're going to not get outworked as a staff, so that's great. And I appreciate those kind words. And, Rob, I appreciate like what you were talking about. This is awesome. I was talking to Denny Doral about this yesterday, and, we haven't had something like this since the Bauer Ford days when they used to have the radio show down there on Saturday mornings.
I almost forgot about that.
We haven't had anything like this in Franklin County for years. I remember when I was a kid, I would listen to that radio show when they had it in the showroom. That was the last time in Franklin County around here that we've had anything that celebrates, sports and such around Franklin County, and I think that it's awesome. When I heard about this, I got on the YouTube site for the pilot, and I watched the. And then I watched the.
You probably had a good nap through that. Probably had a good nap.
Watched the first official episode, and I talked to Wesley's daughter. She comes in and shadows me for her work thing every now and then, and I ask her when the next one's coming out, and you film it on a Monday, and we're sitting there going, well, why we gotta wait till Thursday to watch this thing?
It's because I don't know how to do all the other stuff. June does that for me.
But no, we enjoy it. It's awesome. A bunch of people are talking about it. I think your viewership's going to continue to rise because it's fun. You guys keep it fun.
Thank you.
You talk about things that aren't necessarily, the most important things in the world. You want to have fun with it, and you celebrate these athletes and these programs, and I think it's a great thing you're doing.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to end one thing. I was jealous. I'm never usually jealous. But you now are a guy who might take this show over whenever we get him on. Got to announce the basketball game. Danny Doral on the radio. I've been wanting to do that for years.
He's a WRBI guy now.
He says he's going to do another one. I said, for the first time, I'm jealous. Because I always wanted to do it. Granted, I sound like Johnny Most. But Danny, he's going to take over. And if we get him on here, look out. It's going to be wild.
The problem is if he gets on here, I might probably have to go over there because he's just going to go and go.
He's going to go.
He's a WRBI. He's the new guy there, and he's absolutely loving it. And he was talking the other day. He said, this WRBI is just a launching point. It's only a matter of time till he's on, ESPN and game day, and you never know what he's going to be on next.
Then he better get. I'm always teasing him. He better get his knowledge about former players better, because every time I would say one up in the baseball booth, he would fall down laughing, saying, "How do you know these guys?" I said, "You better start knowing them, buddy." I said, "If you're going to get in my league with the old days, Now the modern days, he's above me, but the old days, I've got him for now."
Well, absolutely.
But good luck to Danny. I'm jealous.
I want to become the Purdue football coach.
Yeah, Rob Cowen's like, ready to do football next year? Because I've subbed for football, and I'm like, no, I do enough. And he's like, Denny's going to Purdue. And I'm like, just get out of here. But thanks again, Mark.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Great job on the shot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kyle's out there yet or not.
Yeah.
But we're going to get him in here and finish up with Brandon. And we'll have this episode out maybe by Wednesday or something. So,
awesome.
Enjoy it, and we're going to be rooting for you. I can't wait till next week to the game this upcoming Friday against Cary Brown and the Rushville Lions.
Yeah, just was speaking with him this morning. So.
I might have him on there sometime.
He's a good guy.
I've gotten to know Cary now.
He's one of the best.
And I'm not so kind of intimidated. This person, he's like, he's the Connersville coach, and he's a longtime coach. But he's very friendly. We spoke to each other a lot at the football games this year. And he does stuff with Brockman.
Right.
So I'm going to try to invite him over.
You should. Yeah. He's a great guy.
Well, thanks again, Mark.
Thanks, Rob.
And if Kyle's out there, send him on in. But I don't know if he is. He was practicing.
I think he stuck his head in here. We'll see.
It's like the principal. Next, come on to us. The principal's
It's like Brad Stacy over at the elementary. Next one in.
We're going to have him on.
Brad Stacy.
The episode's called Old
Dean
School.
and Mean.
Oh, you don't want Brad.
But before we get Kyle in here, tell the guys what your job is here at Franklin County.
So right now I'm a paraprofessional.
Thanks.
See you, Mark. So I'm a paraprofessional, which is basically the professional term for an aide. Work in the special education department, and then along with helping out with Dustin Riley and Brad Stacey with the athletic department.
Well, we're glad to have you. Oh my gosh, we got the whole group here. Guys, come on up. Come on up. Can we get
I'll grab some extra seats here.
Now, Zach, you're not allowed to tell any St. Michael stories.
I had one up there. How's it going?
Kyle, thanks for being here. You guys have got Michael. Hello. Hey. Come join us here.
I'm going to sit at the end because I can.
I'm going to move over a little bit, and we can measure ourselves here. But you guys did you just get done with practice?
Yeah, we got practice and we had film. Just finished watching some film.
Where do you guys do your films at?
And we're in our classroom.
Oh, okay.
So we just do it on News and Huddle and use it on our screen in our classrooms. Kristoff does a JV in his room, and I do varsity in my classroom.
Well, and for our listeners, you already know who they are, I'm sure, but Kyle Vanmeter, head coach of the ladies basketball here at Franklin County, Michaell Kristoff, the junior varsity coach, all doing a good job, and of course, Zach Frank, our old St. Michael man down there on the end, is the varsity assistant for the Wildcats. So, guys, have you watched any of the episodes of this show?
I've watched your first one.
You had a good nap, just what I told Mark. He said he had a heck of a nap during that.
Yeah.
But no, we're having a lot of fun with this, and it's relaxed and, good time. But we're going to ask you some questions. And first off, just about your history. I know Kyle and Zach, obviously, Franklin County High School graduates. You were both Shelby's age, weren't you? Weren't you 2012?
2012,
Okay,
yeah.
and where did you guys go to college after and stuff? And
So we went to Indiana State together at first, and then he ended up finishing at Indiana State, and then I ended up finishing at IU East for my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And then I'm actually at IU East now trying to get my master's degree still.
Okay.
And I went to Indiana State for criminal justice, but I went back for my master's to Indiana State to
Okay.
get my master's in school counseling.
All right, that's good stuff, guys. And Michael, did you grow up here that I forgot about or something? I didn't know about?
So I grew up in Oldenburg.
Oldenburg.
And I went to Oldenburg Academy.
Okay.
For high school, and then Ball State for a year, then to Purdue, and came back to IU East to get my teaching.
I should have had the
license.
Purdue helmet and the IU helmet here. We
Yeah.
had that, but guys, my memory gets a little slippy sometimes. But Kyle, I'm forgetting. You coached with the boys for just a little while, and then got into the girls. How many years have you been coaching here now?
So I'm 30 years old, and I started coaching before I started teaching. I started coaching at 20 years old.
Okay.
So I basically went, I moved back home. I was taking classes. I had the time. I went straight into the old superintendent's office, Tammy's, and I just said, I was subbing at the time, substitute teacher, and I said, I want to coach. I just want to coach anything. Mm-hmm. And she was like, we have 6th grade out of Mount Carmel Vikings, and I said, I'll do it. I'll take it right now. And so that year, Kristoff, it was his first year teaching and coaching, and he coached 6th grade at Brookville. And so then after the season ended, that's when all the schools were still separated. They weren't consolidated yet. So I was the 8th grade county coach, and he had a 7th grade county coach that year. So we coached together for the first time that first year, and it was awesome. Had a lot of fun. We had Brady Bogan, Clayton Spurlock, Augustus Runyon. Those were the 8th graders. And then the next year, I was the boys freshman coach, so followed him up a class. Then the next year, I was the JV coach for 2 years under Eric Eberens and Mark. Mark was the varsity assistant, and I was a JV coach for 2 years. And then I kind of stepped back again. Then I did 8th grade again, which I actually coached a lot of the boys seniors this year, so Landon Johnson and Kemp.
Okay.
And then job opened up, the girls' job and the boys' job was opened up that year as well. And so Mark got the boys' job and I got the girls' job. So this is my 10th year coaching. So I was on a boys' staff for this might be 10 or 11 years I've been coaching. But I was on the boys' staff for 7 years, 6th grade to JV, and this is my 4th year as the head girls' coach.
That'll lead me into a question. And any of you guys jump in and answer this for your experience too. Okay, I was a varsity soccer coach, and I never played a bit of soccer in my life. And we learned in the backyard. And then luckily I knew Mr. O'Brien, of course. But getting to coach to different levels on your way up this ladder to being varsity or JVs or varsity assistants got to be beneficial to you. I mean, this the learning curve, just stepping your way on up. And this young guy over here coaching now, wearing the green, the Brookfield green. But tell us, how did it help you? Just, I know it's basically just learning the ropes, but
For me, like I played in high school, had a good high school career, and I love basketball, and most people know that about me. Like I'm obsessed with it, so I think about, so I talk about. So I knew I was going to coach, and to me, like even now we have our rec league going on, and or our youth travel teams going on. Like I love getting in the gym with those younger kids and practicing with them and working with them, and I think it does help a lot. Because at those youth levels, a lot of times you'll see coaches that are just like trying to win at those levels. But everybody wants to win. But really, at those levels, you're just trying to push them and give them the tools so they can win in high school because that's where it's about. And so I think personally, I've learned a lot, and it's very beneficial. I think as a coach to I started as a 6th grade coach, and now I'm a varsity coach, and I had I basically coached every level on the way to the top, and I think it's helped a lot in terms of dealing with different kids and teaching fundamentals and stuff like that. And then, Kristoff's obviously done a lot too.
Yeah, I think the kind of like when you're with those younger grades, you kind of learn how to do the skill development stuff more, right? So you're learning different, drills to help them shoot, handle the ball, and also teaching them the game more, right? They're in the starting out to do that 6th grade level, the basketball IQ, they've kind of been doing you'd like get it and just run around out there. Well, now you're starting to get into teaching them where should you be, keeping the floor space, things like that. So teaching them the basics of the game. So when they you get to high school, kind of the expectation you should some of that stuff.
now, did you play at Oldenburg?
Yeah,
Was Ace your coach?
he was my senior year.
He was your senior.
Yeah.
Who was the coach before? Was it that?
I had
Forget that
I
guy's
had 3 different coaches in
Oh,
high
really?
school. Yeah, Jeff Gorel was my coach my freshman year, and then Matt Maple was sophomore and junior year. Yeah.
Yeah, he wound up later coaching girls at Batesville for a while. I don't know. Probably doesn't know more, obviously, but this guy down here, he was a prodigy of the St. Michael program. Coming up with Earl Stinger and Roger
Purcell,
a little bit me. I was just the ogre guy. But, we won't go into too much of
I
that.
got plenty of stories for those days. But yeah, I played in high school as well with Newman and Kyle. We played together. And I love basketball. I'm not going to repeat everything to them because I completely 100% agree. But also, too, with rec league and all that with the younger ones, like, my goal is to teach them, but also to have fun. Like, love the sport like we love the sport, I haven't coached as much as them, but I was part of Greencastle coach when I was going through
thanks
with
for mentioning that.
Bryce Rector, and we won a sectional that year and went to regionals and lost. We didn't win sectionals when we played it here at high school, which is, it's okay. But man, when I was a coach and saw those boys, like how happy they are cutting the net down, I knew when I came here, like our goal is to get that same feeling,
It's funny you mentioned that. I love shows on like sports shows on YouTube and like Netflix. You guys are a little young, but Survive in Advance. You ever watch that about NC State?
Yeah.
Take some time. Well, you've watched it.
Yeah.
And where Coach Valvano would have a practice every year. One practice, all they did was practice cutting down the net. And they said the guys, when they first go through it, they're like, well, this is a little catty and a little silly. But they said after we'd done it year after year after year and understood what he was teaching us, that any goal can be achieved, whether it be a small tournament championship or a sectional or, they won the national championship. I was watching it with my mom and the dunk at the end and I'm screaming and she woke up like, what's wrong? So exciting. But, getting kids in my years of coaching, which I coached basketball for like 18 years and various other things, when you get to, and sometimes you can't get a whole group to buy in. So each person's going to love the sport, how much they love it, or how much they want to work, or how much they want to improve. And there's only so much you can control of that. You offer leadership and guidance and ways to improve and put them in the best situations. But, when you can get somebody to just buy into really loving the game, whether they're a good player or not, that speaks well of you guys. And just making people fans of basketball is an important thing, or the sport that you're coaching them at that time. But guys, you're into your season now, a fairly amount, and it's had highs and lows. I tell you what, your game against Lawrenceburg. I'm just going to go into this, and please, you indulge all you want about the season, the improvements and things you want to work on. But I did love how you got. I mean, Lawrenceburg, you always know is going to be a tough, hard opponent. They're that way. They're built to be tough, and and I loved how our girls just, it wasn't maybe the best shooting night or this, but they just kept gritting it out. If there was an obstacle, they fought through it. If there was a mistake, they fought through it. If there was a success, they tried to repeat it. And, I was proud of their effort watching them and what I'm sure you guys were too.
Yeah.
I mean, it resulted in a win. But as far as, and you don't have to mention individual players. I'm not trying to gouge you for information, but what are some of the things that you're happy about and that you're seeing improvement on or working toward improving? And a win-loss record is one thing. Yeah, fine. But there's a lot of aspects even more important than that.
I would say, this is our 4th year as the head coach, and when we came in, we knew that I think it was like 4 or 5 losing seasons in a row, and we took over. So we've had 3 successful seasons with a lot of good seniors. And last year, we were had a good season as well. So early on in the season, we have a core group that knows what it takes to win. They've been a part of those winning teams. But our bench and our younger players are still pretty young and still kind of going through a lot of growing pains. And even our core group, they're a good group. They work hard. They know what it takes to win. But when you lose a player like we did last year with Mears, if you look back on film, she brought the ball up, she rebounded basketball, scored a basketball, and so she did a lot of things that they just kind of relied on.
Mm-hmm.
So we went this summer. We were excited about this season. We knew we were going to be good, and 2 of our main players, 2 I think have a chance to be all conference this year, Ruby Singer and Madison Sunderhouse, both missed pretty much the entire summer with injuries.
Oh, I didn't really know that.
Yeah.
Madison, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ruby broke her toe, and Madison hurt her back.
Okay.
So they missed the whole summer, and so we were playing, and it was beneficial to a lot of our younger players because they got a ton of playing time. But then my personal opinion, I think is the summer is when you get the most development and the most growth. So Ruby plays a ton of AAU and stuff. She couldn't do any of that all summer. And she's still having a good season. Ruby's having a great season. But so then we go in this season, a lot of them haven't played basketball. Ruby and Madison haven't played basketball a long time, and the other 3 are used to playing with the younger kids. So it was an adjustment. So I feel like we're going through a lot of growing pains in that regard in terms of playing with Ruby, playing with Maddie. And then statistically, those 2 are our best players right now, Ruby and Maddie. And so, I just feel like we're dealing with some growing pains. And last year, we had a good season, but we had some close games where the ball just happened to roll our way. Mm-hmm. And now this year, Madison, I feel like we had chances to win. Union County, we kind of let it go at the end. Madison Shaw, people. I don't know if people know about Madison Shaw, but they have 2 players.
I was going to say, don't they have 2 real renowned players?
One is unbelievable, unbelievable. If she shoots it, it's going in. If she gets space, it's going up and it's going in. And we shot the lights out, that night, and we played really well. And so. And what I tell them all the time is I think our team and our program at this point, they want to win. They're expected to win because that's what I preach. Mm-hmm. And when we're not winning, sometimes they kind of get down on themselves and kind of get down. But I think they've done a really good job in terms of just hey, no team wants to play us. Mm-hmm. This isn't nobody's going into the game and being oh, this is a win. They're doing everything. They're scouting us. They're watching film. They're worried about Ruby. Matt, we're going to play hard. We're going to do our job. And I think our team is learning a lot from the adversity in terms of maybe the ball isn't rolling our way for some games this year, mm-hmm. but we're bouncing back. We're coming into practice every day. We're showing up every day. We continue to work hard. And the wins will come. I'm confident they will. But again, like you said, even if they don't, adversity teaches you a lot about life too, in terms of you have continuing to show up and continue to push and continue to work on the things you need to work on is a big deal for them as for life. Everybody wants to win. I want to win more than anybody, but we have to remember that they're high school kids, and we are here to try to prepare them for life.
Well, and this is a cliche, and you guys correct me, but embracing the grind. I used to say in soccer, because we would recruit kids. I was the stalker for a while. Hey, you're not playing much volleyball. Why don't you come be with us? We can use you. Bridget Collins or Shannon Bennett or Lauren Steele. I was always teasing them that I was just trying to get athletes, and we will teach you to play soccer. It's going to take you half a year even to get in the right condition. But embrace the grind of it. and just enjoy it for what it is. Don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows, but embrace the work. And everybody can get tired, or you have a day where I don't want to deal with this, or I don't want to give my max. But I tell you what, guys, I know you're out there scrapping hard with them and working hard. I'll tell you one, I'm not allowed to be real. I'm not as theatrical as Denny sometimes, like he does to Mike.
Get after it.
But I try to keep it kind of level. But I'll have to admit there was one play in the Lawrenceburg game where I almost literally stood up and shouted when somehow Madison did this reverse layup. And I was like, good God, how did she do that? I mean, it was a great play. And Madison, I'm not putting her over anybody else on the team because I'm a fan of all the girls on the team. But, I see her a lot in soccer. And with a girl of her size, she gets knocked around a lot in soccer and is able to handle that well. Because I always told kids soccer, it's pretty much 100% injury rate.
Yeah.
If you're playing and aggressive, you're going to get hurt. And sometimes my daughter June laid out to hurt. It's kind of give and take. But hey, I know you guys are hanging in there now. Michaell and JV, what's some things that's standing out with the younger girls and the development? You've had a nice run.
Yeah, we're 6-1 right now. We lost our first game to Batesville, and we were just breaking down the film of that, talking about things could have done differently, and things to improve on. But they're playing really well together right now. Things like stick out watching them, like running our offense, moving the ball. They're doing a great job. We've got two good leaders, two juniors that do a great job, kind of showing, doing the right thing, make sure the younger ones are doing the right thing. And then we've shot the ball really well. They're playing extremely hard right now. They listen. They're very coachable, and they get after it. So
well, it's good. And and sometimes a person like me who actually misses coaching. I don't miss the work, but I miss the excitement of it. And you watch kind of how the team will engage with you when you're on the bench doing timeouts or giving them individual instruction and it's just a good thing. So, but guys, remind me, do we have any freshman team right now or a C team? Is there a girls C team?
Yeah. So there's 20 players in our program, which is, obviously every year we're trying to build that. Like in our youth program, we do 1st through 6th grade. We have over 100 girls every year now for 4 years. We do a camp in the summer. We always have the biggest numbers out of anybody. And we went to a fever game this summer. Our biggest thing is trying to increase our numbers, try to get everyone interested in basketball. Like you said, hey, come play basketball. Come play. You're an athlete. Basketball is fun. Yeah, it's hard work and it's physically demanding, but it's fun too. And we're trying to increase those numbers. But we're at 20, and when you compare that to basically all the other schools in the area, like it's on par or even more than other schools. And so we have a C team that goes and plays some games. And so basically we take 7 players that are on the JV roster, but the ones that don't get a whole lot of playing time.
Okay.
And we take them to go play like some C team games.
Okay. I know that's became a little different where it used to just be known as freshmen. And then one time I worked one of the games, I was like, wait a minute, they're sophomores. And they called it the C team. They said, yeah, it's for somebody who might need a little more development. It's kind of like an extra JV team.
Correct.
But who do you have what's your junior high groups working like? Who's your coaches in the junior high level right
So
now?
Denny Dorrell.
Oh God, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere, but he
announcing too.
Announcing, he does everything. He's a big person for Franklin County. Like if there was somebody to represent Franklin County, I couldn't think of a better person. But he's basically our junior high head coach is what I call him. And so basically I let him like, hey, what do you want to do? Who do you want? So right now Denny's the 8th grade coach at the middle school, and then Wes Cox is the 7th grade coach.
Oh, Wes is in there.
Yeah.
He has a younger daughter still coming up.
She's an 8th grader.
Okay.
Excited about her. Excited about that entire 8th grade class, honestly. But right now there's a good group at the middle school that Denny will coach this year.
Okay.
But there's also another good group at St. Michael's that Denny's wife coaches.
I was going to say, doesn't she coach over at St. Mike? Boy, you got the battle of the wills there.
Exactly.
I'm glad I'm not at that dinner table.
Yeah.
At least in my area, it would have been war.
Yeah. So Denny coaches 8th grade at the middle school, does a great job, and he has Wes there to help him out. He's very committed. He has them working also. They played with us a lot this summer. They do workouts, like they're working hard. And then, when he's doing it, like his daughter's over at St. Michael's.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot, again, this isn't a bad thing. Like, a lot of parents get involved because they want to coach their kids.
Sure.
Get it. But like Denny's not even coaching his kid at the time. You know what I mean? Because his daughter's over at St. Michael's.
Yeah.
He just loves to compete and he loves the sport and he wants Franklin County to succeed and he wants to help out as well as he can. And then, like I said, Sarah's over at St. Michael's coaching that 8th grade team. Over at St. Michael's, like, you know how it is, the numbers are kind of down.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how the other grades, like, they kind of move them around. But the 8th grade group, there's a core group over there that are dedicated and just with the core group at the middle school that we're really excited about coming into high school next year. Obviously, the head of that class is Cody Cox, Wes's daughter, and everybody's excited about her, but. She's still going to be a freshman. She's got Rude Awakening coming in. I'm excited to have her, but I'm also excited about the other ones too, in the junior high level.
I don't stick my nose. I don't even talk to players much anymore because I don't coach. I don't know who I am. I'm just the guy that does the microphone. But maybe I overstepped my boundary once last year. She was having a little bit of a rough game, but I think we were winning the game. But and I don't mean to. Again, we root for all the girls, Ruby and Billman and everybody on the team. But Kendall was sitting there ready to go into the game, and it's rare that I never do this. I literally tapped her on the shoulder. She looked up at me, and I said, "Don't be afraid to shoot." Now, whether you guys maybe didn't want that shot at the point, but I said, "You'll get your shot going again." And I just see her this year that it's the same way with Madison. So I was like, if they just can knock that first one down, then you just know, like, oh, I can do it again. And I feel like if Kendall can just get a couple of good ones to go in for, that she's going to it's just going to start getting better for her and stuff. Because I know, she's a good shooter. She just hasn't had much luck yet with this year with the ball dropping for her. But that's just something for, again, me sitting there.
Yeah.
Watching a game sees.
But
So I won't
you're 100%
intervene in any huddles
No.
this year.
No, but she needs to hear that from other people too. Like we tell her that. Like we were talking in film session. Like we feel like we have a great relationship with all our players. So like sometimes we give them a hard time, and we're like, Kendall, like she's got the point where she just pump fake into pump fake. You know what I mean? It's like shoot the ball. Because last year she, was consistent. That happens. Sometimes you go through these shooting slumps or whatever. But it's also like even when your shooting is not on. What else can you provide? And Kendall is, and again, we like everybody. Just talking about our team real quick. Bellman is a senior. Good point guard, controls the offense, can score, can defend, can do a lot of things. And then you got Bailey Kaiser, another senior.
Bailey, yes, of course.
Yeah, can make good passes, kind of put people in the right spots. Maddie is our hardest. She plays the hardest. Like we just talked about, like she is going to go 110 miles an hour no matter where she's on the floor, almost to a fault sometimes. Ruby, obviously a great player. Like I think she's averaging like 15 and 10 right now. Like she's going to get her points. She's going to get a rebound. She's just so big and strong. But Kendall, she is our hardest worker and our most dedicated player. She doesn't miss workouts. Like we do spring workouts, we do fall workouts, we do summer workouts, and win the season. She did not miss a single thing all last offseason.
That speaks well of her.
Yes, and so she kind of gets down on herself because she has high expectations for herself, but she'll be all right. She'll start knocking shots down. Just going back to like just shoot it, catch and shoot. And then our bench, like we have Kaylee, Hannah, sophomore getting in there. She can shoot the ball.
She seems like she's getting a little more confident.
Yeah,
and comfortable too.
Her confidence is growing. And then we have Jalen Myerson too. Like she just got to get in there and bang around inside in the post. And then we like our JV players as well. We like a lot of them, and we're still excited for this season. Like I think that we're going to be able to rattle off some wins. I really do, because I think we do things the right way. I have confidence in our coaching staff, confidence in our players, but also for the future. Like we are set up for a solid future. And just when people start to expect you to win all the time, it's like I like it. Because it means you've done your job. Like people expect us to win. Like that's what it is. Like I don't want to coach a program where people are just like, oh, like I want it to be expected to win, and that's what the girls are dealing with that too right now. But they'll be like, you just got to come in and do the things the right way. We have a team that does that. And
I've been around you guys enough and watched and not evaluate. That's dramatic to say that, but because nobody gives a care what I say. I'm a nobody anymore. But we are rooting for you and wanting the best for you and things like that, and know you're working hard and putting the time in. And Zach, I don't mean to keep picking on you down there, but you're down there at the end. But have you brought in some Earl Stingerisms or our loving pal Roger?
Well,
have you brought any of that into your coaching style?
No, not really. I think coaching back then is a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
Now. Yes. Won't get into that. But yeah, I think it's a little different.
Different approaches, for
different
sure.
approaches. Now it's more or less, you kind of got to go with the mentality, like mentally, positive, but like with that positivity, here's some things you need to work on. My biggest thing is talking with the players, kind of off to the side, things to work on, things to look at, but also in the off season, I control their whole workouts.
Oh, good.
So I'm actually the strength and conditioning for the whole school. But obviously the girls get the first picks because I'm on the coaching staff.
Okay.
But no, I think being in there, and I think what's helped, honestly, Kendall, if you saw her freshman year to now, her working that dedication in the weight room, she has built so much muscle.
Well, she looks stronger. I mean, granted, she's getting older.
Exactly.
Too, but
Maybe that's affecting her shot too. But
Yeah,
Well,
maybe. But that's all of them too. But I can't really. I kind of approach it differently than what you guys.
Well, we were probably known as, trust me, you even got the PG version.
Yeah.
I kept under wraps. We were basically ogres, and luckily, it's just the way it was. But that's kind of, coaching. I can't X and O with people. I just never could. I learned by watching TV and taking a little bit from a coach here and there. But I didn't have a breakdown mentality. I could run the same things, and we had good CYO teams, and sometimes we had bad ones that just worked hard, and it was a blast. I said sometimes some of my funnest CYO years, where I was taking guys who couldn't even dribble a basketball, and we would be able to get through a game without completely getting destroyed. We might not win, but it was. I just loved that part of it. But coaching has changed so much, and I always said, because I started coaching when I was 19 and I'm 57 years old and have been away from it now for 5 years maybe. But I said the one thing I could do for coaches is explain to him some do's and don'ts of my experience. That part I can mentor, not telling you to run a high post or the screen. Yeah, you don't need to hear my stuff. We'd go like this, and it meant the same play every time. Run fist, okay, or weave. Couldn't do much else. But but it's a different world. But and it's going to be a different world 10, 15 years from now. But guys, we're rooting for you. We're fans. Me and Brandon. We just told Mark we're proud to, in small way, be a part of your team just by announcing or doing things behind the scenes, and we're excited for you and want the best for you all, and keep up the positivity and working hard, and it always pays off in the end.
So that last game against Batesville was a heartbreaker. I mean, you guys, I think you guys ran the
one,
best defense you could have, and they're big girls, and then they couldn't miss from the outside. That was brutal. I think by every shot they took up, they were hitting them. I think I saw maybe them miss a total of 3, maybe 4 threes all night. And they shot the ball a lot. So
we talk about we just broke that game down. I broke the game down in 2 different clips. We broke with the bad things about Batesville and the good things about Batesville. But we were in our zone defense because
now? Okay.
Yeah, I got Christmas.
You're not going to do the shot. We'll have you do it next time.
next
I gotta get to a Christmas thing.
All right. Thanks for being here, Zach.
But he talks about Batesville, we went into the game plan if you watch me and my wife probably get sick of it because I'm watching film at home. I'm watching, maybe I watch too much film in the classroom. We're watching it, and so we come with if we play our zone defense, and there's several reasons why we've turned to that zone defense. One, to kind of save us from foul trouble, because if Ruby gets in foul trouble, or if Maddie gets in foul trouble, that hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts us bad. So we're trying to preserve them from not getting in foul trouble. But like he said, Batesville is not a shooting team.
They're big. I expected right to the paint, to the hoop every time, and
they hit 10 3-pointers.
Oh my God!
We lost 40. And again, Batesville is a very good team. That's another thing. We beat them last year, but it took everything we had. On paper, they were probably better than us last year. Even this year, on paper, they're probably better than us just because they're deeper. Not because they have a lot of our players. I like our players, but when we go. We got a younger team. You know what I mean? He's playing, he's 10 deep. And so And they're able to play, and they're big and strong. And so like we did the game plan. Like they hit 10 3-pointers. Like sometimes they had 2 girls that literally it was their first 3 of their career.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my God.
And so like in that game, it's just like we did our job. We played well enough to win. Sometimes other teams just do what they have to win. And honestly, that's kind of what's happened a lot this season. And again, that's kind of where like the girls are like getting frustrated. They're like, why aren't we? We were playing so hard. Like we're doing what we're supposed to. Like why aren't we winning? But it's like my oldest thing is like you can put in all the work. You can play as hard as you possibly can, or even if you're just trying to make the team. The reward or like the win or the trophy like should not be the reward. It should be like the hard work that you put in. That's the reward. Like the journey. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Like like just showing up every day and doing what you're supposed to. Like you may not win. You may not win still, but you still put the work in. I think putting the work in and not knowing if you're going to win or not is the benefit of being a person, and like that's what should drive you in life. And I hope that's what we're getting out of this season. But again, also I do think wins are going to come. But like you said, that Batesville game.
And that Batesville game. I mean, looking at again, not the biggest basketball head person there is, but I think they did a lot with. They try to run a lot of help side defense. Put those 2 bigger girls on Ruby if she goes in paint. But they were also a quick team. They stayed help side defense, but they also stayed close enough because they know we can shoot. I mean, you get Bailey and Kendall out there, Madison, Tiffany. They got a hand up at the end. I think Tiffany got hot. She hit like 3 threes in that last quarter.
It's good to see her taking.
And then I think they finally realized it. And, I mean, Madison played hard. She did get a really hand to the face throw down on from the ref. That was a little excessive in my opinion. But I mean, you look at I think we talked about everybody today. I think the programs, we have a bunch of great students here and great athletes that want to work hard and want to do the right thing. And like you said, you're a young team. You've had a bunch of big senior classes. Last year only lost 1, but it was a big person.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have a big player that
College player.
yeah,
Correct.
It's hard to lose those, but I think you got 3 seniors this year. But once I think you get some of these other girls that are your younger players that come off the bench and play, or some of the JV players that come up. I think once they get that varsity time solely, I saw Mears get in there, scored a bucket at Batesville, and the Hannah twins. They're both really good players, both great shooters. I think the more that they get, a little bit growing, get used to that varsity level. I think here in 2 years they can be a dominant force for you, big time.
We'll be all right. So it's just like you said, we just come in and do things the right way every day. And but again, I can't talk enough about our senior class. So like Tiffany and Maddie, like you said, like they told me today, they're like, hey, mention us like being splash sisters at the end of the baseball game.
They were both hitting.
They were hitting.
Maddie was hitting them early.
I was like, you guys will be a little more consistent before you get that nickname. But they were like, like Tiffany. I think the biggest thing people understand, like Tiffany is a great player, but if people remember what Tiffany was before she tore her ACL, if she never, and again, it's adversity. It's a part of life. Like stuff happens, and like I think Tiffany is like she's still a great player, but I think people like you tear your ACL, like you're gonna lose a step probably.
She was double braced up last year on both legs. I mean, and that takes a lot of courage, no matter who you
to go
are.
out
She
there.
kind of reminds me of Jenna Bruns in
She
that
does.
way.
To come
She
back
does.
and she played softball. She plays softball,
Volleyball.
3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
3-sport athlete.
She comes out in softball, and I announced softball. Rob does the baseball, but I think watching at the beginning of softball, she was very timid
Because of
on everything she did. But towards the end of the season, she was getting fearless.
Yeah.
And you like to see that, and I think that came back out again this year. After coming back from injury last year, you're a little timid. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think going through softball, being that more aggressive in there, and then obviously volleyball, you're jumping a lot, and if you're trying to block stuff, and you're diving all over the floor, and I think that's helped her, especially with basketball coming back on that hardwood.
And then again, like
it's different.
Tiffany's tough. I think whatever she decides to do after high school, she's gonna be a great person because of that, because she's dealing with adversity. Maddie, again, like I said, almost to a fault, but man, she plays so. You saw the baseball game.
Oh yeah.
She
was running everywhere.
And that's what I try to tell the other players, like, hey, like maybe you're not strong, maybe you're small, like Maddie, but like if Maddie showed anything to anybody, like she, in my opinion, like we've had 3 conference games, like Ruby, I think is an all-conference player. I think Maddie is an all-conference player in these 3 games, in my opinion, and to be her size, but she just goes 100 miles an hour all the time. Like I said, almost to a fault. Sometimes we got to reel her in, like what I mean. But
calm down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna get one call.
Yeah.
She went in for that loose ball. I'm like, oh my gosh, she about knocked that girl. I'm like, I was like, oh.
That's the soccer coming out.
Yeah,
there.
you soccer people.
But
I
that's
told
get
her
after
that.
it. You
I
guys
said, you do
physical.
soccer
Yes.
in there.
It
don't
helps
you?
her a lot.
It helps
though.
her.
Yeah.
She sees angles and
Yeah.
where she can get the ball
Yeah.
and stuff
But
that other
like you
people
said,
don't.
you guys have a great program. Great group of girls and stuff, and I think you guys
Yeah.
are doing some good stuff.
And then about Bailey, obviously the other senior, she plays basketball and softball. Part of it, they won her sectional. Bailey and Tiff did their freshman year in softball. Again, Bailey is a very grown up girl. Like she's very adult in the way she handles her business. She does a lot of things for us. Runs the offense, makes the right passes. Like things a little bit. Her and Kendall are kind of doing the same thing a little bit in terms of their shots just aren't consistent right now. But they'll be fine. You got to take, and that's the thing. Like I know, like Stacy hates it. Brett, Mr. Stacy's like, "What are you going to keep?" I'm like, "I'm never going to tell a shooter not to shoot it. It's just not like it's modern basketball. You know what I mean?"
No, you've got to be.
You
You got to stay with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it will. And like I said, and then Ruby and Kendall we're excited about for next year. They'll be our leaders next year. Having Ruby for another year and her being able to play summer basketball with us and then playing
Yeah,
A8.
she had that many injuries.
She missed the whole summer, and I don't think people realize how. Like Nicole was good her junior year,
Yeah.
but to her senior year, different player. And I think Ruby can do that, but she's going to need a summer under her belt where she's playing with us every day, she's working out, and she's playing AAU again.
And I think she'll get that adversity next year.
Yeah.
Being one of the two returning starters. She's a tall person. She's
big and strong.
She's a big, strong center
Athletic.
for you. And I think I think next year you might see a lot more of that double team and run the paint like we saw with Nicole last year, and that's where Ruby kind of had that little growth spurt. Yeah, they're going to double team Nicole, but if she missed it, Ruby's right there on.
Put it up.
They pulled that girl for like, oh, this girl, she didn't play varsity last year, whatever, and she made a name for herself. And then like, oh hey, we got to go back to 1-on-1. Then Nicole could do her thing. Okay, let's go double Nicole. Ruby, you're going to do your thing.
And we'll have Audrey next year too. Like Audrey's going to be working towards that. And our thing is nothing's guaranteed. But Audrey's going to be working towards a starting spot next year. And she's big and strong, and how a lot of things Nicole can do. But like you mentioned, like Batesville is a well coached program. I really like the way Mitch does over there, and he did a job on Ruby. Like you saw.
yeah.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Oh, they did their job on
That's
Ruby.
when you got to let your outside shots fly and hit. And like I said,
Correct.
they weren't hitting early. I mean, but I think Madison was getting something to hit. Tiffany was getting something to hit. I know Bailey had that little injury there for a little bit towards the end of the game, and that
And she's still dealing with that. Like she's a little bit. She's limited right now. She'll probably be fine. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I trust Leah, our trainer, and so she'll be all right. She was limited yesterday and today, but she'll be good going for the rest of the season. But yeah, like I said, our youth teams though as well. Like I know this is way down the line talking about it, but like we like our 8th grade class, 7th grade class. We had a girl practice with us this year. Her name's Mariah Cole. And then like you get to like 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade. I know it's like a lot of things that happen, but like the parents in that group are like Miranda, Whitney, Kara, Rachel Gribben, Rachel O'Brien now.
Okay.
So like they were all part of that team that was the best team in school history, and now their kids are coming up. And again, like genetics do matter, like having good genes helps, but also being dedicated, and they work really hard at it. Justin Ratz, also a very good basketball player.
Justin, sure.
He has 2 daughters in that group too. So, we just keep at it. We keep growing. We keep working. Like, yes, we want to win every year. Like, we want to compete for a sectional championship every year. But like, are we preparing these players for life after school? And are we developing a good program we can compete for years and years and years? Like, not just another. I'm rattling on here, but like Silver Creek right now, or like Greensburg. Greensburg, number 1 team in the state right now in 3A. 2 years ago, they started the season 1-8. They started 1-8, and they are the number 1 team in the state.
Yeah, crazy.
So-
That's like Northeastern a few years
Yeah.
ago couldn't put a JV team out.
Yeah.
And they're undefeated.
And they're
undefeated,
unbelievable. They're really good.
And then Silver Creek, which I really like. Silver Creek, that coach down there, they play today, Greensburg and Silver Creek. It's like 1 and 2 teams in 3A. Excited. I'm probably going to ask that game for film just because I want to watch it. And, we have to think about Greensburg eventually. And but Silver Creek, they're very good, very good. But you look back at they've had some 7-win seasons, some 6-win seasons, some 8-win seasons. So it's just about building a program. Like I feel like our thing is we are building a program and making the most enjoyable experience every year in and year out for our kids.
I think that's what some of Frank County does as a whole really well. You talk about those parents that were on that greatest high school team, we've had, and they come back and they stay here. And I think that speaks volumes for Frank County as a whole because, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to live here in Frank County. But I think people say that all the time, but
they come back
eventually this is home and, it's a great place to be.
Shoot, yeah. Well, guys, we thank you. I know you got obligations the rest of the day and stuff, and we sure thank you. I hope you enjoyed coming on, but we're not done with you just yet.
All right.
You got a
all
little
right.
pressure, and now Brandon's going to get the shoot.
Oh, I'm going on this
Doug
What are we doing
Deters
here?
made.
He made
Oh,
it.
dude,
Doug
that's all
Deters
pressure.
made. Mark
Doug made it, we
Foster
better make it.
Did Mark
made.
make it?
Mark made. Kyle, you get the pole rank. You get the Franklin County
Okay.
belt. The ball's all over the place.
Oh man,
Michael,
how far are we shooting?
I'm
from?
going to let you be. I don't know. You're just red.
End of the table.
And you
But my
get-
son's the St. Michael's.
Hey,
so that
there you
works.
go. My old team. And Brandon,
Oh,
since you've been
go
thinking you're a
Greyhounds.
Greyhound,
Go
you
6th Street Greyhounds.
guys stand at the table. Here it is. Again.
I like
Nope,
it.
here-
Oh, I'm not
there you
going
go.
first. Oh no.
There you go. Right there at the edge.
So who made this? You're saying Mark and Doug both
Mike
made it?
Huff.
Okay.
Here, get where we can see on the camera. You're so tall, you might
Yeah,
have to stand.
right.
Mike Huff,
Doug Deters.
Doug Deters, and Mark Foster. So let it fly, guys.
They all made one.
Yeah.
One.
One.
You get 2 shots.
You just
Three
got to
shots.
make one.
Oh no.
That's
No,
all right.
warm-up
Give it a
or
second
anything,
shot.
though.
Give
I
it
would
a
have
second
practiced
one.
if I would have.
Oh, he wants to dunk it.
All right.
Here comes the Oldenburg Wonder here. He's kind of surreal about it. He's falling through. Look at
Oh,
Now here
I
comes
have-
this guy.
I have too much pressure now. They both miss. I
The
gotta
balls
make
are going
one.
everywhere.
Well,
Oh
man.
my gosh. Look.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Guys,
about. That's what I'm
Since
talking about. There we go.
since he hit one, you all get a
There we
great
go.
prize,
Oh yeah.
courtesy of the corner crew.
Saved us.
EW Brockman.
You all, EW Brockman Company, Chips Ahoy. If you don't like them, give them to your family.
Yeah, we'll take
And
'em.
just a
Appreciate
little token of being here with us today is just a signed thing from my guys.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I give you the right one. This is, that's for, you can split it up and give a picture to each.
Cut it
teacher.
out, yeah.
Oh, and good luck to Abby, your
Yeah.
Orshel, your coach. too.
Yeah, Abby. Yeah, I didn't mention her. Abby Orschel's our Abby
Appreciate
Wood.
it.
Abby Wood.
Abby
now.
Wood.
She got married. She's our C team coach. Has some obligations. Couldn't make it here today, but also want to give her a shout as well.
Yeah.
She love having her on staff because she can relate to the girls a lot.
Well, we thank you and
Yeah.
thank you for coming on.
Yeah, we'll
And
come
Michael,
back.
Thanks for having us.
You
We'll
want us?
keep with you, and sometime we want you to come to our corner crew office
Where's that at?
up in Connersville at my
Yeah.
workplace.
All right.
That's a whole new world up there.
Yeah.
You're getting the easy version. When we get up there and you get all that stuff around you and Greyhound pictures
Oh,
and,
Yeah.
and our banner, and you got Mike Huff with a cowboy hat on, and you got Wes singing a song. You'll enjoy it.
Hey,
So,
yeah. If you
but-
anytime we can make it, just let us know. We'll try to work it out and work on our schedule.
But me and Brandon will end it. We thank you guys. We'll let you get on your way. We'll
Yeah.
wrap this up. Be careful,
ya.
and we'll see you at this game. You got a busy week this week.
2 home games this week.
Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, Brandon,
Oh, yeah.
we got through our thing today. Good job on the shot.
I know.
What are you, a Greyhound?
Clutched up there at the end.
But hey, thanks to you today for providing
no
the
problem.
room, for helping me with the technology end. We ran a little long, but people can get to watch the fast forward to the parts you like or the
Eddie View will
coaches.
love we ran over.
Yeah, but hey, it was quality show today.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed it.
It was good talks.
And again, this will be airing probably Wednesday or Thursday, and then we're going to be filming the Christmas episode with the regular Corner Crew guys on Monday night at the Corner Crew office, and that'll probably come out at midnight on Friday, like that's been our time, the bewitching hour for the Corner Crew.
Yep.
So, for all our listeners, hope you got view us and hit some likes if you like, and send us your questions, and we'll let this Saturday move on. And if anybody's out Christmas shopping or doing things, be safe. And Brandon, again, thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem.
And
Glad-
you're doing a
glad
great
to do
job
it.
at Frank County's.
It's a fun time.
He's like a younger brother to us here and stuff. And we're going to sign off for today. So from the Coach's Corner Crew and my other men, Mike, Wes, Travis, and sometime Rob Cowen and Brandon,
Welcome horns.
and my producer June, and all of our technical people, we have a great rest of the week. We'll be catching up with you. Watch the Corner Crew and be safe, everybody. We'll try to hit the off button tonight.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you. We'll see you.
got hit. Do you think he's gonna hit the stop recording button? Or hold on. Let me see. I don't know this part.